Well, 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 well. Hello and welcome to this album with me, William Hann. It's the podcast where normally each episode a guest and I would deep dive an album of their choice, but this is no ordinary episode. And I'm joined by a very unordinary man. It's one of my oldest friends, someone I've made core memories with, a man that's been there at the seminal moments in my life. George James of the B's. What an honour, what a pleasure, what a privilege.
Mate, amazing to be on. I've been waiting for this moment.
Yeah.
Thanks for the intro as well.
Is that pretty good?
That was pretty good.
That was ad-libbed, man.
That was pretty good. What do you think about my drumming while we're on a positive?
The boy, how do I put this? The boy had his moments. They weren't always in time, but this boy had his moments. What do you think of my guitar playing, George?
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
The reviews are in. The reviews are in. George, who are you and how do we know each other?
So I'm. My name's George. Who am I? What do I do? Is that, or do you just like?
On a spiritual sense, if you wanted to, or more literal, whatever feels right.
I run a marketing agency called Be Hooked. And we look after lots of music artists. But how we met was at the very early stages of doing that. So we met at Amersham College, didn't we?
Entering adult life.
Adult-ish. Yeah, adult-ish. Yeah.
So we met at college. I would say a fairly instant connection, George.
Yeah.
What were we doing at college?
What was our course called?
It was music technology. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think much time was spent learning about music, was it, George? We were too busy mucking about, chatting to the pretty girls in fashion.
I mean, how quickly did you come up with the idea of a band while being there?
Honestly, it was pretty instant, I think. I'd already had...
Is it like 1 month in?
It can't have been much longer than that. I think I definitely had the idea I wanted to start a band, and then you've suddenly entered my orbit, and he could play drums. You were just what I needed, George.
And you'd written a song at that time.
I'd probably written a song. I didn't say a good song,
Aaron's
but I'd
House.
probably written. I think she just can't get enough with the first song I wrote. That'd be the second song I wrote.
Right, okay.
It all just happened so quickly, didn't it, George?
Yeah, it did.
We just met, and we were like joined at the hip for the next year and a half,
it was
weren't
brilliant.
we? We made some memories together, George.
We did.
What
stuff can we talk about on the podcast?
On the podcast in a public
space?
I'm sure
lots of people that see this will be in a circle.
Yeah, it's pretty inner circle stuff, George.
No.
Witnesses. Yeah. Let's hope this podcast doesn't get too big, of course. What was your first impressions of me then at college when we first shook hands and had those first sparks of a friendship?
Big energy, but I just thought there was this older guy, like sort of big brother, but loads of energy. I think I was like 16.
Yeah, because I think I was 19 when I joined college because I'd already done some minor adulting.
You were 19.
I'd done a year at college.
Yeah.
Got a job for 2 years and then came back. So I was older than most people in the course. Apart from one guy who was like in his 30s, wasn't he? Do you remember?
Yeah, the one guy was in his 30s. Who was that? I can't remember who that was.
He was
I just thought cool, charismatic guy.
I'm glad I asked, George. Thank you.
We obviously we had a bit of a laugh together, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then when you mentioned that we were going to do the band, I was like, yeah, cool.
I imagine how that conversation went was, George, you're joining my band. You play drums. I don't know any drummers. You are joining my band. You was already in a band.
I was in a band.
I had to put an end to that as quickly as possible.
Which
did not want that to be a distraction.
Yeah, we got rid of that. I came out of that band.
There was an overlap for a couple of months.
There was an overlap, but
only a short term.
Like, you were very sure that we were going to be the biggest band in the world.
I was so sure.
And you need that energy. I think if you're going to be in a band, you need to be like, we're going to be the biggest band in the world.
Well, there was two things that really, when we wanted to see it through. It's a case of, I want to spend every waking hour with you three other guys, and I want to be the best band in the world.
Yeah.
I got half of it there. We spent
a lot of time
24/7, 7 days a week in each other's pockets.
Yeah.
There was late night drives, way past bedtime. There was sharing beds.
Yeah.
There was
sharing a lot, wasn't there?
Snogging partners.
Bobby's car. I know, but I can still see Bobby's car.
Yeah, I can close my. I could still change the CD without looking with my eyes closed.
Like,
you know what I mean?
We spent so much time in that car. I mean, look, it was great. I actually think we had a fair deal of success.
Oh, look, what we had was the drive to do stuff. So things happened.
Yeah.
We weren't good enough to go anywhere with it,
Yeah.
but we had so much drive and self-belief that we got ourselves on these stages. And, sometimes went further afield. I was telling someone just the other week about our trip to Norwich.
Yeah.
Our numerous trips to Norwich.
Dudley.
So it was Dudley. He followed me on Instagram recently,
Some crazy stuff happened with Dudley, right?
It was amazing because I don't know about that. What's the Dudley story?
I've heard, wasn't there? Oh, don't know. That's another podcast.
It might not make it onto the podcast.
Bring
George.
Dudley onto the podcast.
I'll get him on the podcast. But it was amazing. So we went to Norwich. It was like an under all ages show.
Yeah.
It was I wouldn't say it's a packed room. It's probably about 50, 60 people in the room at a push, and there was 2 girls that had the most amazing time watching our set. They loved it. And when we came back 6 months later or whatever to Norwich, they changed venue. But they weren't allowed in the new venue because it was over 18s only. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
So they were allowed to interview us in the afternoon for their uni or whatever. And then after 6 p.m, they weren't allowed in the pub. They stood outside the venue and listened to us.
Yeah.
From outside the venue.
Was it Rachel?
I can't remember their names now, but like really sweet pair of girls. And mad, the sort of experience that money can't buy really. Yeah.
I think it was good for me because at college, it was a music technology course, wasn't it?
Certainly was.
So, it was our first. We knew how we were good at MySpace.
Well, where I thought it was going with that, it's worth mentioning that you grew up in the countryside, very remote, and you'd suddenly gone to college, and within a couple of months, you were basically in London 3-4 nights a week, or
I
suburban
moved
London
to London
at least.
at 17. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which most people don't get that experience.
No.
The first time they're allowed to leave the house.
No.
So you grew up really quickly.
I grew up really fast.
All thanks to bloody me.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I guess you'd have been underage the first gigs we did. You couldn't legally get drunk in them.
Yeah.
You found a way, I'm sure.
No. Well, there's up there. This is going online, so yeah, there we go.
We'll leave it at that, shall we?
We'll leave it at that.
But growing up happened really quickly.
I mean, look, there was it was such good fun. I think especially looking back now, 60. How many years ago are we talking?
We're talking 20 years ago, George.
It's not 20.
It's 2006. All that shit kicked off, and it's now.
No.
2006.
It was 2008, wasn't it?
It absolutely was not, George. It was
206.
Reading 2006.
2006. Well, wow, 20 years ago.
Welcome to adulthood, George. You did it.
I mean, looking back now, I think what we got right was and obviously what I do now, like running a social media agency, looking after, big acts. What we were doing back then was the first time that I got into social media.
Yeah.
It was like gaming MySpace.
Yeah.
You were good at it. Andy was good at it. I was very good at it.
I enjoyed being on MySpace, but I was no good at that side of it because where we complemented each other really well.
Yeah.
Where you could build the websites and things like that, but I was just like messaging people and replying to people.
Yeah, you were talking to everyone.
I was talking to everyone.
Yeah.
And we call it ADHD if you want, but like it was.
Yeah.
I call it being proactive.
Yeah, I mean, I actually, because I knew this conversation was happening, I went on MySpace yesterday, and we still have 5,300 followers.
Is that so?
And it was,
really?
And it was, yeah. And at the time, I think we were.
I think a lot of them are bots, George. If I was a betting man.
No, we were over 10,000.
I'm being silly.
I don't think. But yeah, no, that was really good, and I think we also you networked a lot with bands, didn't you? So the Holloways, the Libertines, anyone you could get your hands on, really.
Yeah, I was pretty going to get my hands on
lower
ladder indie heroes. Yeah.
Our big break nearly was that you were in the pub with Pete Doherty and you gave your hat to him, right?
Well, it wasn't quite the pub. It was outside Koko. He just played a show, and he's running down the streets of Camden High Street to get into his cab. It wasn't even a cab; it was a Jaguar, and he's poked his head out the sunroof while all this chasing fans like Beatlemania is going on. And I've gone plonk and put a hat on his head, and he's gone, "Cheers, mate." And then he said, "Drive, General, drive." And General was his drug dealer mate at the time, really shady character. And off he's driven into the night. The next day, he was in the paper wearing my hat that I gave him. So that was a little badge of honour.
There we go. That was cool. And I think, what was your favourite gig, Bill? Out of them all, The
best one we ever did was an under 18s gig, or all ages gig. It was, I want to say St Albans, was it? Where we supported a band who I can't quite remember. It's someone from college put the night on. I can't remember the guy's name.
Oh yeah, it was Sean.
Sean.
Yeah.
It was Sean. He put the night on. It's High Wycombe. High Wycombe it was.
It was High Wycombe.
It was in High Wycombe. All ages show. And I don't know what we did right, but people just went fucking bananas for it. The room was heaving. There'd been about 2 or 3 bands on before us. And the band that was headlining were like In the Enemy and stuff at that point. Can't remember the name now. But the kids went crazy. And it's the first time we've ever like done a proper encore where we've done the last song and everyone was properly chanting, "Ma, ma, ma." And we was like, all right, we're going to do it. Bobby had already put his bass away, but we started playing a cover which we'd stopped playing for a couple of years. We used to do Hey Ya by Outkast, didn't we, George?
Yeah. Oh, look, the memories are coming back. They're coming back.
But by that point, we'd stopped playing it in the set because we'd grown as musicians.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's like we've got no songs left to play. Let's do Hey Ya. And Bobby couldn't join the song till about 2 minutes in because he'd put his bass away. He'd gone out of tune, and he's there tuning it while we're already on the first chorus. And then on like the second verse, boom, and Bobby hits the note and joins in. The place goes mental because suddenly we're a full band again.
I kind of remember this.
And Andy crowd surfed during one of the songs as well.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend looked on very disapprovingly. I remember that.
Yeah.
I mean, George can barely remember it, and I'll never forget it. For me, it was like, that was probably the only gig where things really went right like that, and people were going genuinely crazy.
We had a great gig in Camden just before Christmas where we played at the...
Tommy McFlynn's, was it?
No, it was the Jazz Cafe, and it was rammed, and we played the Pogues.
That was Tommy Flynn's. That was Tommy Flynn's.
Tommy Flynn's, yeah.
Oh, yeah, did the Pogues. That was good. Yeah, we did a good version of that.
That was great. I think also, like, I think that what I learned from the band, because I then went on to start a DJ thing, which went fairly, well, it went well. As same as the Best and Bees went well, that sort of level. But I think what I learned was that if you have a group of people around you that like are your mates, and there's enough of them, then that's half the job done.
Yeah.
And that's what was great about the Best and Bees, was that there was always your crew from Hillingdon.
Yeah.
Where's the other place? Ruislip and
Uxbridge, I guess.
Uxbridge.
It's all the same thing, really, but yeah.
And I think that was like, I think that was like quite a core, like cool group of people that were, you know, that you'd open the Enemy and one of them would be in another band's picture. Do you know what I mean? Like who are the two twins? Nick and Chris. They
were regularly in the back of photos, actually.
They were they were always out there. So I think we had like sort of the cutting edge indie crew.
Well, we had youth on our side and people that were very hedonistic. So people were out the house all the time, getting up to mischief and making shit happen.
Yeah.
It was a really, really exciting time, which is impossible to do now because of money and the fact that no one's got it and everything's so expensive. So like, I feel sorry for the young people that are here today that won't get to experience the sort of freedom that we had. I mean, we were skint. No. We were like students. We had like, we barely leave the house with any money to get drunk or anything, but we'd always get out the house. We'd find a way to get the tube there and back or a night bus back, but the idea of staying at home was unimaginable. No. You know, we had to be out.
What were the big clubs? Frog, Club Enemy?
It was Club Enemy at Koko, and it was Frog at the Mean Fiddler or the Astoria 2, whatever it was. And that was the Friday, Saturday night, absolutely covered.
Yeah.
There was nowhere else on earth you had to be either of those nights.
No,
it was kind of annoying when we get a gig booked on a Saturday. You go, I want to go Frog. Fuck.
Yeah.
Can we do Frog afterwards? There were definitely times we'd play a gig somewhere,
and then go
pack
to Frog.
up and go to Frog afterwards. I mean, we were carrying guitar cases into music.
We went to Frog all the time, didn't we? Like,
all the time. To be fair, the Holloways would often put us on the cheap list. Thank you, Alfie, if you're listening. And Hedonism reigned supreme. It was joyous times.
What happened after the Best and Bees for you?
So the band split up, as bands often do.
Yeah.
And I formed a new band.
How long were we in the band for? A year and a half?
It was just over a year and a half, I reckon. Yeah. We got good towards the end, didn't we?
Yeah, we got good towards the end. Yeah,
some good songs.
Yeah.
And then formed a new band. That was obviously, we took about 9 months to get into shape and play our first gig. Because that's the thing with us. We played our first gig about 3 months in.
Yeah.
We booked it. It was like, well, that's the goal now. We've got the gig booked.
Yeah.
So maybe before we move on to my next band, let's talk a bit about what you remember of that first gig, George.
What first gig? Where was it? I don't remember it at all.
Unforgettable. The North London Tavern, just outside Archway Station.
The North London Tavern? Oh, yeah. Well, I live near there now. I live near there. So.
Did you ever go and pay your respects?
Yeah. I mean, that was a good gig. I think we did well.
We did really well.
We always had people coming up afterwards saying that they liked our music.
Yeah, the thing is, right, maybe it's something in my brain, but I always thought, I don't know if they're being sarcastic or not. I've gotten a lot better at taking compliments now.
Okay, fine.
But yeah.
No, I think. I mean, okay. Like I tell you what we should talk about is when we thought we were going to get signed to XL Records.
Which time? Oh, that was funny, man. That was great. I talk about this all the time. Yeah.
What do you remember about this?
So we had, when was it, college? A guy from XL Records came in to do like some talk or whatever. And we were like, we're in a band. You should come and see our band. You should see our band, Mr. XL Records. I know you've just signed, who would it have been? Well, the White Stripes were already on there.
Yeah, it was.
Be Your Own Pet were on there.
Yeah.
You know, they'd signed the Prodigy. Adele would have been around that
Adele
time.
was signed.
Jack
Jack Pignate.
Pignate is actually,
we thought we had. Kin, you know, if
We
they
thought we
signed
were
Jack
in.
Pignate, we're like...
Come on, we're right here for the taking,
yeah,
brother.
Exactly.
And he needed some like work experience people for a couple of days' work, a week or two later. So he got in touch with our college and said, "Hey, those two annoying little dickheads, get them over and have the work experience for a couple of days." So he went to XL's office in Ladbroke Grove, where I lived for a couple of years.
They told us. They told us it was... They told us we were getting signed.
I don't think that's what they said. But we went down there. I think we went down there.
Our tutors were funny.
I think we were, our tutors probably said it. But like basically we were needed to pack some vinyl. And spent the day packing it's like a White Stripes box set, I remember. So all those beautiful vinyls people get, gatefold, triple disc things. We were the jabronis that had to sort of put them all together.
Yeah.
And it was a really fun day, like being in that environment, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We got a bit of petty
great.
cash, and we got put on the guest list that night to see...
Cake.
Yeah, that's the club night.
It was a club night.
Exactly.
Where was Cake?
It was at Hammersmith Palais, R.I.P., and it was Jack Pignate, and I can't remember if it was Larrick in Love or Good Shoes, but we got paid in probably about 20 quid and guest list. Everything you needed in 2006 to have a good weekend. But it was just really cool being in the office for a couple of days and saying, we're in a band, we're in a band. You should sign our band.
Yeah. But no, I genuinely thought we were going to get signed. And actually, like, Matt's a friend now, the guy. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. So he's the managing director of Young Management, which is Jamie XX, all those guys, basically.
So for the record, we were competing with the likes of the XX in terms of getting signed. Pretty high bar. Pretty high bar. So it didn't work out.
So that was funny. Also, I guess like the other... Who was in the... I'm trying to remember who was... What was the first time we went to Koko? I feel like that was... My memories of the first time we went to Koko, I walking in there, and I think one of the DJs must have been playing one of the first times I ever heard MGMT, Time to Pretend. And it was epic. We walked in there, it's the first time been to Koko, straight down the tunnel. I don't know if you'd ever been before.
Well, I'd been a few times by that point,
So you were taking me under your wing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably underage.
I mean, I wasn't. You would have been.
Yeah.
You definitely would have been. But it's funny. Jack calls it the best walk in indie.
Yeah.
Walking through that tunnel at Koko.
And
it's the best venue in the country.
I agree with Jack.
Jack's off them, right? And it's sacred ground, just the freedom in there to dance to. I didn't know you could go to clubs and hear the Strokes, Arctic Monkeys, the Kooks.
Yeah.
And it's just full of the coolest people in the country in that same room, losing their shit to the indie bangers of the time.
That was the indie club, wasn't it?
It was the one.
I still went for years.
I went a few times, but not as much really. Yeah, by about 2008, we'd sort of, I don't know, deviated a bit from that, which is a shame. You know what I mean? There's still fun to be had there, but yeah.
So what band was with Bawley? What happened then?
We started a band called Mr. Kite. We were not very good for a while, and then got really good towards the end. By that point, it's 2009, and no one cares. You can only drag your mates to a Wednesday night in Camden for the 1,000th time so many times, can't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it reached its conclusion. But again, I think towards the end, we'd really created some good stuff. I'd really learned to play guitar in that band as well. Like, I was below adequate in the best and B's of the guitarist.
Yeah.
And I got pretty good. I'm rusty now, though, George. I'm pretty crap now. However, what I was going to suggest, George, I don't know if you've noticed, on the other side of that room, there's a Marshall stage.
Yeah.
They've got drum kits and guitars there. I'm thinking for one night only, we get the band back together.
Yeah, why not? Let's go and give it a go.
We'll do that. So you, at university, you started putting on club nights and stuff, George, and you basically started a media empire. So tell me a little bit about, what you've done post-S&Bs and post-university.
Okay, fine. So we're going into like the work bit now.
Sensible work bit, please, George.
Okay, fine. Cool.
Corporate mode.
Okay, so best in B's, meet a load of cool promoters and think like, oh, this is quite cool. Like they get girls into, on guest lists, and they're like the guys. Like like this is quite a cool thing. So I get to uni, partially because of the Bessing Bees actually. Like because I was in the Bessing Bees, and because Matt from Excel, I was able to put that I'd done that work experience.
Right. Wow.
They let me in.
Right.
To Westminster, which was really hard to get into. The only annoying thing was that the band had just split up, and I ended up living. You remember that?
Well, I do. You moved to London to keep the band going. You were torn between London or Liverpool, and you thought, "Yeah, I'll do London. That way I can keep doing the band." Just as you go to university, band's over. That's it. Sorry.
The band's over. But I ended up.
Are you aware of the life choices I've made to do this?
But I ended up living like down the road from you guys.
Yeah.
So I still saw you a lot at
picture
Trinity.
at festivals and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anyway, at uni, we needed a way to make some money. So we.
It was drugs or club nights, right?
It was, yeah, exactly. So I knew about the Good Ship because we played at the Good Ship, which with John from the Good Ship.
Well, that's actually, I was going to say, that's one of the other good gig venues we did. It was always a good night there.
Yeah.
And they always paid us.
It was basically our night, wasn't it?
Don't know, I can't remember. But
did we not run it? But yeah, anyway, so basically decided, okay, well, I know the guys at the Good Ship, so I'll start a club night at the Good Ship. And at the time, I'd thought about how would I make it unique or stand out, and I was sort of like going through ideas, and I came up with this idea that 3D glasses might be a cool thing to do. I'm sure I'd seen it somewhere.
2007, baby.
2007.
Groundbreaking
It's the
at the time.
Claxons, I went online and I found a guy that had some 3D visuals that was the ex-BBC. And he said, okay, I'll give you all the BBC stuff. It'll only cost you like 300 quid. So we drove there and it must have been way more expensive. We got hold of this stuff. And then we started running nights at the Good Ship on that really dodgy screen.
Oh, what, behind the stage?
Behind the stage.
Yeah.
But in 3D, and John loved it. And it was such a gimmick that it got rammed, and everyone from uni was going there, which was great. And then that evolved through uni into a DJ duo called Dancing Robot Music. And neither of us could DJ, but we had the 3D visuals.
Yeah.
So through that, a company called Rough Hill, that's a promotions company, picked up our night, and we toured the whole country, which was great. That's where we started to build a bit of cash, and that's where I started to, become an entrepreneur.
And then after university, what were the next step, George?
Well, after university, I had some luck because I ended up working at Apple, and I was trying to get a job at iTunes. So this was sort of lucky and serendipitous. But the guy that a year before I ended uni, I got an email. They sent around an email saying there's this guy called Hal. He wants people to go and work at iTunes, or Bebo, I think it was. Remember Bebo?
Barely.
So I thought when I left uni, I was like, I'm working at Apple. I'll hit up Hal for Bebo. But he'd basically left Bebo and he'd started his own agency. And he said, well, you can come and intern and you can come and work out at the agency. And that was only in Soho. So I didn't leave Apple. I stayed at Apple. And through some sort of I don't know, I had a couple of friends there and we were able to sort of like cover me. So Apple thought I was working at Apple, but I'd actually taken a job now at Hal's agency.
You were doing two jobs at the same time?
One is
or getting paid for two jobs at least?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, basically when I got there, they said, your first job is to go down with this kit guy, Ben, that was working there, to Koko, which was a place that I knew really well from all of our stuff. So that was great. And your second job is to go down to the X Factor, which was their client, and you just need to run and get coffees and just be around for One Direction. So that was sort of the lucky moment. I was with One Direction. I ended up doing socials for One Direction.
Yeah.
And then I was like the socials guy. And I've basically been able to build an agency off the back of that.
So it sounds a bit like right place, right time.
Massively.
But I'm also a firm believer in putting yourself into situations where you are in the right place.
Sure.
And the harder you work, the luckier you get, right?
Yeah.
You had the initiative to be in those rooms and to be shaking those hands. Maybe bragging a little bit about your credentials to get in there a little bit.
Exactly.
You once met someone from Excel and put that on the CV. I'm so proud of what you've done, George, honestly.
Yeah,
it's been a real joy watching your career take path. And tell me a bit about what you've achieved in your current role.
Well,
and what's the company called? You didn't say. What's the company called, George?
The company's called Be Hooked. So we're a social media marketing company for the stars of entertainment, music and lifestyle. We've got 25 people working across London, New York and Los Angeles. And we're effectively like music managers, but for the digital side of what you do. So we work with artists to come in and make it easy for them to be on social, make it easy for them to look after their different social media platforms, sometimes their mailing list, and we work with the artist directly, so we spend a lot of time in meetings with them at their recording studio, going on tour with them.
Do a bit of bragging, George. Who are your clients?
Well, biggest clients, so we've got Rod Stewart, Sir Rod Stewart.
Sir Rod Stewart, thank you very much.
So, we've worked with Alicia Keys. Which was a big one. We do Zara Larsson.
We
We do the Rolling Stones in America.
The Rolling Stones.
We do Franz Ferdinand.
Indie Heroes. Ferdinand.
We did the Wombats. These are all bands that I know that you'd like. Hard-Fi for a little bit.
He's worked with Hard-Fi.
A little bit. We do. I mean, we've got about 20 to 25 artists, and our acts are some of the biggest artists in the world.
Yeah.
So that's been fantastic, and we sort of do great work, and then we bring on more clients, and we build and build. But right now, the team feels like I've got a really good team at the moment. This is 2025.
Firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, firing all cylinders. Really care about what we do and care about the artists they work on. So yeah.
What's this year got in store for you, George? New clients you're going after, big projects. What's in the works?
Well, a big thing that we do is that we work with brands as well. So we'll work with a major international brand like a Hasbro that have like a Peppa Pig, or they've got other big TV shows and toys. Or we'll work with a fashion brand like True Religion Jeans, and we partner those brands with our artists. So this year for me, a big focus is to do more brand deals. So we do a lot of hooking up between artists and brands. So that's the other part of our business. So I'm focused on that. But we're also speaking to a lot of really great artists to do their social media. And some of the bands that I loved growing up, so I'm very excited about that, and they're like big US talent, so that's a big focus.
It's a good time to be George James is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's a good thing, and trying to build our US team a bit more as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So any other thoughts, feelings, memories, emotions you'd like to share while we're holding microphones and pressing record, George?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of. We didn't speak much about Andy, did we?
We didn't speak anything about Andy, actually.
Have you two?
We haven't spoken. I mean, when I found out, I'll take this off the podcast. The day I found out he was getting married, I messaged him on Facebook. I was like, oh, mate, I hope it all goes well today. Sending love. Not spoke for a while. Peace out. Didn't hear back. But it was his wedding day. I forgive him, you know what I mean?
Was Andy upset that you cancelled the band? Was it me and Andy? Was it me and Andy that were upset, and you and Bobby were?
I was all upset. It was a very sad day, but I was upset because Andy had cancelled a gig without telling us. And
so Andy, yeah. That's Anyway,
this won't go on the podcast.
This won't go on the podcast. we're just on two microphones.
Two old men talking about things. Yeah. I wish him. I've bumped into his brother a few times over the years. He's always been quite warm to me.
Yeah.
So that's
good.
Nice. I'd like to see Andy again. You know what I mean? It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll keep this in, Andy, if you're listening.
What about Bobby?
Less so with Bobby. He's a bit cancelled.
Okay, this isn't going in either.
This isn't going in. But I bumped into him a few times. Just like, if I see him, I've seen him at a few gigs, we'll go for a beer together. How you doing, mate? You all right? Yeah. But
what about, okay, so from back in the day, let's try and get some gold in here.
Let's go.
Top 5 acts for you when we were in the band.
Yeah, I mean, it is funny. I think the music I was listening to in 2006, I don't think has aged well for the most part. There are exceptions to the rules, the likes of Arctic Monkeys, Baby Shambles, Libertines, but I was obsessed with the Holloways and the Pigeon Detectives.
The Holloways are insane. You listen to them now and you're like, still great.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Dance Floor.
Dance Floor's the good one. I do like Dance Floor, actually. But, man.
It's really sort of ripped the narrative for Watford Girls.
There was an element of that in my songwriting, George. I don't mind telling you. But no, I think, a lot of that stuff back then was tosh. But a lot of it's really good. So I think like acts like Justice from like 2007, that's the stuff that I think's enjoyed a lot better.
Yeah. Well, we supported Simian Mobile Disco.
We didn't support them. We got invited to their night. You got us into a very, very cool night.
We played it, mate.
We didn't play it. We were. Did we play it?
We played it. We played upstairs. They played downstairs. That cool nightclub.
Turnmills. We didn't play Turnmills.
We did.
No, we got put on the guest list. You got us on the guest list.
I promise you, we played it. You're forgetting. We played it, and there was
it's on the roof then, I heard, didn't we? Did we smash it?
Yeah, we smashed it. We played it.
Good night.
Or maybe I'm remembering it differently. No, we did.
I prefer your version of the story, George. Let's not let the truth get in the way of a good story.
I'll give you like my top 5.
Let's do it.
All right. So Ordinary Boys. Amazing.
Loved them. I was obsessed.
Brixton Academy. That gig was unreal.
Yeah.
The Wombats, which had been a client, which was great.
They got the Wombats.
I'm going to put Franz Ferdinand in there, but I don't know if it's more.
Yeah, they're a band I wouldn't listen to much at the time, but I love now. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's more of a reflection thing.
Yeah.
The Holloways.
Claxons. I didn't mention the Claxons. Claxons were huge.
That was because we were at the end of Guitar Indie just as it was turning into electro.
Yeah,
we should have just gotten a synth.
You should have got a synth and a laptop.
What would Lazy Cat have sounded like on a synth?
Better. It would have sounded good.
Yeah. Or Bobby could have gone through like a synth.
Well, that's kind of what happened to the next band. He had like a mad distortion pedal that sounded like the Claxons. It was sick.
Yeah, I never came to a gig. I wasn't, too happy
missed out on
about
Bobby standing very different.
To be fair, I stayed at Bawley's house once when he played Glastonbury, the Arctic Monkeys. So I don't know if I was that upset about the whole thing.
Sounds all right.
A year later, I think I was all right.
Yeah.
Who else? Who else was great? What's going on? You're the This Album podcast, mate. You must have the Cribs.
The Cribs.
The Kooks, by the way, haven't aged.
They look amazing.
He looks the same.
I saw him about a year or two. Brixton done the first album in full. Sick.
I was at Jules Holland's Hootenanny because Jules Holland is a client, and he was playing pool in front of me, and he looks the same age that he did at Reading Festival.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
Well,
look, George, this has been a joy.
I think we've got enough.
A pleasure, a privilege. Plenty to take out, but plenty that stays in the can. I've been William Hann. He's been George
Thanks
James.
for having me, Will. Thanks for having me, Bill.
An honour, a pleasure. George, this has been This Album.
Yeah.
Come on.
Brilliant.